Anyway, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetically Black, Never Broken, Always Empowered. I am Britt, joined by my co-hosts, Avatar Shay, and her what are those called? Drumsticks.
Ice cream today. This is good.
Ice cream. Okay. And Jamal, what's good? How y'all feeling?
Yo.
How you been?
Yeah,
I thought he said, you said how, I thought he was about, he said, yo, I thought he was about to speak.
Me too.
Nah, my bad. I didn't have a story to tell you.
Topics. It is long, but overall, I'm good. You know, this past month wasn't that great for me.
Yeah.
But the funeral was over, the class is over, that extra class was over, and I got one more big thing to take care of, and then I'm gonna feel like I can breathe.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah.
You said you had a story to tell?
Oh, yeah. I got bullied out of my t-shirt. So as you can see, I'm wearing my Insomnia Cookie t-shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I no longer work there. And the kids keep track of every job I work. And Julian told me, why are you wearing that shirt? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm wearing a t-shirt around the house. He's like, no, you don't work there anymore. You're not going to work. Take the shirt off. So I think
it's confirming my theory that Julian be beating up people at school.
Low key, right? He's a little gangster.
He told me to change
He was in the car yesterday. 21. Can you do something for me? I said, nigga.
Yeah, that shit's funny. Yeah, I've been good. I've been working and I've very minimal energy on a regular basis. But my birthday is on Thursday. So I'm ready to turn up and to go out and
do hood rat things.
Yeah, with my bald-headed hood rat best friend. Day. So yeah, I've been good. Just looking forward to that. Once Gemini season hits, I feel energized by just the shift of the planetary alignment or whatever the fuck is happening.
The lion ass energy.
And it makes me feel great. So I've been in good spirits.
Y'all see how she just bypassed my shade?
I heard your shade. But the way my energy is set up.
The way your energy is set up.
That was low vibrational and I'm not I'm not hearing it. Miss me with that low vibrational shit, all right?
With one thermal shirt, and this is just everything's low vibrational.
It's low vibrational. But as Shay mentioned, it is a long list of topics. What the fuck did y'all miss this month? Everything that has happened in the month of May. So let's kick it off with the deaths. Rest in peace and our condolences. Jerry Springer actually passed at the end of April, but after our episode. But he was laid to rest in the month of May, which was that was hard. He was old, but that was still heartbreaking for me. As a reality TV show,
as somebody who pioneered a lot of the craziness and chaoticness that we see on TV today.
Yeah.
It started with Jerry. Jerry made Oprah interview the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I will never forget that because when you think of Oprah today, interviewing the former Prince, no one could sit down with Harry and Meghan.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you remember that Oprah was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She was interviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She had this crazy stuff happening to keep up with Jerry.
Yeah.
She went to be the queen of daytime TV, but she had to keep up with the king of trash TV. So, give that man his flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, just the fact that now TV, even the scripted parts of the reality TV, how can we create the most chaotic situations?
Yeah.
So we got TV shows like Love is Blind and Ultimatum that are just for the mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
For the mess because of somebody like a Jerry Springer who had nothing but mess on his show.
Right,
Yeah.
and they trend in the time of internet. Jerry did this before the internet.
Before the internet, yeah.
You couldn't share clips of the Jerry Springer show. You had to catch it on video on TV.
I mean, honestly, we probably shouldn't have shared clips because if it was in today's day and age, he wouldn't have had the career he had. It would have been canceled, or somebody was offended by something. But more recently in the month, we did lose Tina Turner. So one of the OG divas and queens. Yeah, absolutely. Super sad.
Yeah, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice.
That's what's up.
Like once as Ike and Tina, and once it's just Tina Turner.
And her death is a little controversial, not for most people, but for like people who are into like, I'm gonna say like Pan-Africanism. I'm gonna use that as an overarching term, because she supposedly said or did a whole lot of anti-Black shit. And I'm not speaking on that. I don't particularly like. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like. I'm not saying that her personal politics were right or wrong or whatever. Right? It's more so like, why do y'all wait till a person dies to bring whatever egregious thing that they did up? Everybody's online celebrating this person. It's like you wait to this point in time to be like, well, this person doesn't deserve it.
No. Certain people, they wait for certain people because you didn't see any of that when Jerry Springer died.
Well, yeah, from the same community, yes. Like they didn't even care because it was a white person.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like somebody who had so much toxic Black people on TV. Nah, you know what I'm saying? That's all.
Right.
But whereas with Tina Turner, it's like like supposedly after the stuff with Ike happened, she wrote a book that said some of it didn't happen. I don't know how much of it didn't happen, but some of it supposedly didn't happen. She admitted it in her book, but never like did any more to like clear his name with some
shit. Right.
People bring it up, and it's not that I don't think that those things should be talked about at all. It's like, why do you wait until a person dies? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is people are mourning for that person to be like, well, you shouldn't do that because.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like if you couldn't say that shit to her face, then forever hold your peace, bro. Yeah. I feel that.
And here's the thing: I don't think no amount of bringing those things up are going to stop people from the way Tina Turner made them feel or the moments that they gave. Because at the end of the day, we're very as altruistic as we try to be. We're very narcissistic in the sense of like we care about what people do for us. I don't know Tina Turner, but it was her music and the movie and being able to quote it and be funny about it that I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know her as a person, so I can't speak to who she was.
Right. Exactly. Jim Brown passed away this month. He was NFL
Hall of Famer. Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. Apparently, his claim to fame is that he led the Browns to their last championship in 1964, which is, yeah. I mean, I can't speak.
I might have missed this, but he was also a actor.
Yeah. Actor and activist.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously I knew he played football, but like I remember him from Original Gangsters and some of the black, those black movies.
Yeah. Tori Bowie, I don't know, probably like murdering her last name, but she was an Olympic 3-time sprinter, gold medalist. She passed away at the age of 32. There hasn't been much information as to why she passed, but that happened. And then NFL player Shaquille Barrett's 2-year-old daughter passed away in a drowning incident in their home in Florida. So, all sad, rest in peace, and condolences to the family.
Yeah.
The families, plural.
Condolences to Boston fans, because like Miami beat the shit out of them last night. Dog, it was
such a terrible segue.
And lost at home. Like, could you imagine losing at home that bad? They talk about don't let me get one. And then they lost. Terribly.
They did. Yeah.
Miami had one job, send them home. And finally, After 4 games, they did it.
After
4 games of them being up 3-0.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you were up 3-0, then you lost 3 in a row.
3 games in a row.
How?
Just like, all right, dog, I just need one. Just one.
Yeah. So, yeah, ultimately, Miami is going into the finals of either Miami versus the Nuggets. First game is on my birthday, June 1st, national holiday.
So I will not be watching.
But yes, before we get into sports, though, I do want to hit a couple congratulatory notes with Serena Williams expecting baby number 2. Robert De Niro is expecting a baby.
No, had a baby.
7th baby. 79. So yeah. Jonathan Majors and Megan Good are apparently dating. So I guess congrats.
They've been spotted out at Red Lobster, so you know it's real.
She got a type.
She has a type.
She went from a past.
I definitely think Devon Franklin is more attractive, but they are in that same feature sort of thing.
Yeah.
That are very similar.
So the way I feel about this relationship is the same way I felt about like Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon. Like, I don't believe it. Until Mariah Carey was pregnant, I was like, oh, this is like when they got married, I was like, this I don't believe it.
Back didn't make you believe it?
I mean, no, it felt like a publicity stunt.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of people end up staying married and or having kids that are publicity stunts or business, just a business.
Right.
Not to say they don't end up loving each other or whatever, but you know, arranged marriages are a thing.
Arranged marriages are a thing. Like more so than love marriages.
Yeah, especially amongst celebrities.
Yeah, facts. Remy Ma and Papoose celebrates their 15-year anniversary.
That's what's up.
And Ludacris got a star on the Walk of Fame. So all of that happened this month. Yeah. So moving into bigger stories, we can go into sports now. I just wanted to get like
I have nothing to say about sports really because I don't really watch it. So
did you hear about Ja Morant though?
I mean, that's something we've been joking about all month. I mean, I
feel like
how much of a dumbass do you got to be? You know what I mean?
Dog.
Yo, right before his Nike.
You gotta tell the people what it is, just in case.
All right, just in case y'all weren't following beforehand, Ja Morant got in trouble during the regular season for having a gun.
A couple months ago.
It's not illegal to own a gun,
no,
but it is against the policy of the NBA and what they allow. So they
brandish.
Don't allow you to brandish a gun.
You can have it.
If you are at a hunting range, if you are out, if you just have it in your house, like certain things are okay. But when you're at a club and you're showing off a gun and it looked like a 22 special from your auntie nightstand, you shouldn't be showing that off.
Yeah, so having a gun out at the club is brandishing a weapon. That is against.
But then to get on live,
yes,
to actually hold it up is a whole separate additional step you decided to take.
Why would you?
So to be clear, Ja Morant is a basketball player who plays for Tennessee, right?
Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis, right? So, and a couple months back at the beginning of the year, he got in trouble because he had like 2 separate incidents. He got into it with a 17-year-old or something like that. And apparently there was a gun involved, or allegedly there was a gun involved too.
In that case, he apparently beat up the kid.
Hold on. I'm not talking getting on the details yet. Let's just run through the whole. It's important to run through the list of things because context matters.
My bad. I watch a lot of Sports Center.
So, and then there was a situation where he was at a club and he had a laser on the gun and was pulling it out. I can't say allegedly he was pointing it.
Mm-hmm.
And people said that the laser was on them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he was pointing it at them.
Right, but the laser.
Yes, that the laser was pointed at them, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so then we have this next situation. And then, I mean, outside of that, he gets into it with another team or something on the court. He throws up gang signs. You know what I'm saying? And then this last time he was on live, well, him and his friend sit in the car, you know, like regular dudes.
Like regular guys.
Yeah, young boy. And they was like going live, you know, whatever. And Ja Morant pulls out a gun. His friend goes real quick. And then so now he is in trouble again about gun stuff because he got in trouble the first time, but
he got suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended. He was supposed to get suspended for like 20-some games, but they only suspended him for like 5 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah, he went to some sort of like therapy. He did whatever. When I saw the headline, I could have sworn like there's just no way in hell it happened again. Like this must be the way my algorithm set up. I just caught an old group chat.
I'm in a group chat with my homies arguing them down about how it's illegal because I'm thinking about the first situation. I didn't know it happened again because I was like, there's no way we were talking about
the second situation less illegal.
You said what?
I said second situation less illegal and more like, nigga, you didn't learn your lesson the first time.
Yeah,
you sat down with the commissioner and told him like this wouldn't happen again. You understand it.
And it's not like you're not being like no one's coercing you. You can tell by the reaction of other people around you that they don't even know you're about to do it. They didn't dare you right beforehand. Like none of it. These are actions you're making.
People blaming it on his friends. He need better friends. I'm like, did you see the friend flinch because he knew that this was fucked up? I think the friend
is aware.
Is aware that there's something wrong. It's Ja Morant who's not aware that it's wrong. And it's not so much that like the first time with him being in the club having the weapon, that is he honestly got a slap on the wrist, like a major slap on the wrist for that, because that's technically illegal.
Yeah.
Whether the firearm is legal or not. You should not be waving it around and or the laser ending up at people.
Right.
Situation with the 17-year-old, whether he did anything or not, whether he had the gun or not, is still a bad look for him because he's
very famous, and that's a 17-year-old,
and it's a 17-year-old, still a child. It's just the combination of things.
Like so much more to lose, sir. Like you have so much more to lose.
You're not Jamal. You know what I mean? Like Jamal, you would get it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not me.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you that Nike's fucked up for like sticking by him and still releasing his first signature shoe, and then it's selling out. So like,
but then they pulled him.
They pulled him from.
They pulled Nike dropped him this time around.
They did.
Yes.
That's after his shoes sold out there. Because they sold all the shoes, then dropped them.
For me, I think his repercussions, honestly, I think people should do what they want to do. I think that you should not feel any pressure to drop his shoe or keep his shoe or whatever. I think that if you feel like he's still a cash cow, hold on to it. Who I feel like should be ensuing the punishment is the establishment in which he actually works for. Now, Nike decided that this doesn't align with our brand. That's a different thing. But I don't feel like they should be sort of pressured by anybody to do anything.
So when Nike dropped Kyrie, they did it as in we stand with the views of the people. When Nike drops a lot of athletes, we understand it because you stand with the views of your company and how you want your company to be viewed. Because I think they dropped Gilbert Arenas when his gun thing happened.
I was the oranges in the same basket. And I say that because the situation, specifically with Kyrie, I can't speak for anybody else, but the situation with Kyrie is because the people were saying this is racist, which is a different thing than what Ja Morant is doing. Like, Ja Morant didn't do anything racist.
Ja Morant's doing some dumbass shit.
He didn't hurt anybody. He just did something stupid.
I believe at the time, I'm not sure if Gilbert Arenas had Nike or whoever he had. They dropped his ass the second that his gun charge came up. Like, he did something stupid. He brought the gun into the locker room. They were like, nope, bro, you got to go.
So was it a gun charge or, see, that's why I say we might be comparing apples to oranges. So, in the eyes of law, one, and then two, where something looks bad is concerned, like the severity of it is, you're doing something stupid, this looks bad, we'll drop you. But you've done something stupid, like
right, like it's been proven.
And now, yes, It's been proven in the law that you've done something stupid. I have no choice but to drop you.
Right.
So at the time, Gilbert Arenas said everyone brought their gun, but he is the only known case to be able to compare that to specifically say you had a shoe contract and it got dropped because you brought a gun in. Otherwise, no one else has been dumb enough to like use a gun.
No, but I meant like, was he charged with something legally versus he just bought a gun and they looked at it and they dropped it. I
can't remember. It was a while ago. So like, I think it was illegal for him to like bring it into the sport arena. So they might have gave him like a misdemeanor, but not necessarily like.
And here's the other thing: if that's the case, and you get caught, nigga.
Right? Yeah. Fact.
Yeah. Nah.
And you don't want to be singled out. I've been in those situations where somebody else was doing X, Y, Z, but I got caught. I can't be like, well,
right? Exactly. They did it too. But yeah, so all in all, whatever happens, I feel like he's asking for it. Like the first time, whatever. The second time, it's like as if your parent didn't whoop you hard enough the first time. Yeah. It's like you're trying to see how far you can push before your fucking career is gone. And like, here's the thing: you are a great player, very talented. I watched there are other great players.
So many. There's a league
that can continue to be more.
Yeah.
You are considered at this point maybe one of the most electrifying players in the NBA right now. Mm-hmm. This is how you are acting. I don't like we could keep saying, oh, he's young and he's good. That's no excuse when you are a pro athlete.
Yeah.
You have
to carry yourself a certain way.
He missed $500,000 in pay when he missed 7 games.
That should have been enough hurt to your 23-year-old pockets. To say maybe I shouldn't do that again.
That's enough to your family's pockets to be like, listen, bro, you bought us all houses, you bought us all cars,
and now I can't pay my mortgage because you missed out on half
this lifestyle that you
like you don't need the clout. You have it.
Exactly.
You don't need the clout. You don't. No, nobody. I don't care. I don't care how gangster you actually are. Once you become a professional, anything,
you're a professional.
We stop looking at you as the gangster, whatever. We start looking at you.
Get it out. Yeah.
And so many people get away with doing the things that they want to do under the radar. You just want to get on the internet for clout. For whose clout though? Like we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather is probably
get into the best restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's denying you entry anywhere.
Yeah.
What do you need the clout for?
Nothing. Street cred, but who cares? You're out the streets. You're on private jets, bro.
I guarantee you, whether you got street credit or not, you go around anybody's hood and they want what you got. They checking you whether you got something on you.
Exactly. Facts. But moving on, LeBron James' son committed to USC this month, so he's going to California to play basketball and go to school. And LeBron has been hinting at possible retirement, although he said his dream is to play with his son. That could be, 4 years or so away.
But he got swept in the final.
He got swept 4-0, and now he is hinting at retirement.
Some of the stuff that I've seen lately, I'll say. He might should just hang it up. He might. I think he's entirely past his prime, but one thing about it, Michael Jordan made the mistake of coming back, but he left.
Tom Brady too.
Yeah, they make the mistake of coming back, but when they left at the time they should have left.
Yeah.
No, Tom Brady's second retirement was a mistake. Like coming back the second time was a mistake. The first time when you came back and you won, that was a reason to come back. But once you won, you should have set your old ass there.
That's what I'm saying. And at any point in time, you come back, whatever, first, second, like.
usually
There's the reason why you retired. There's the reason why it came to your mind.
But they go, oh, maybe I could, you know what I'm saying?
They have that downtime, and they're not used to that downtime. What did they used to feel that with?
They like, oh, these young boys, I gotta show them, and when you come back, you don't show us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, as a general statement, I mean, Tom Brady is probably an outlier considering as many players, people who say they retire and then they come back. The only sport, I think, and I'm calling it a sport, and I don't really mean that, but that I think you could go away and come back is like music.
Yeah, facts.
Music that you have the potential to.
Wrestling, yeah.
Wrestling too. I was about to say because John Cena, you know what I'm saying, like.
Well, you can also, I mean,
people still want The Rock to come back.
Yeah.
Stone Cold came back like what, 2 WrestleManias ago?
Yeah, Stone Cold came back recently. Edge came back after breaking his neck like 9 years later.
I got the Funko Pop.
I mean, I think that I think because it's scripted, you can come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just
my feelings by saying that.
Right. No, absolutely.
Shocking.
You can. It's the putting your body on the line. Like,
it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Nuts.
But yeah. But I think that was the main stories out of sports this month. Not other than the playoffs happening, there hasn't been a lot of huge developments in the world of sports. There also hasn't been a lot going on in politics. This is kind of the time where people are starting to put their hat out there for 2024 presidential candidates. So like there hasn't been a lot going on, but a couple things.
What's his name crashed Twitter trying to do his announcement?
Who?
Mitt Romney.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Elon Musk endorses him too.
So I'm sure he's a shitty candidate.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Twitter's about to be a shitstorm.
Elon Musk apparently is actually stepping down from running Twitter.
He should have never stepped up. He's honestly, but no. You know what? I think him stepping up was a publicity stunt with his PR. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's done some stuff that's that has maybe potentially brought their stock down. Yeah. But visibility wise, it's kind of like Trump being a president. It's like never above it.
Yeah,
what's he's tweeting or doing? Like it's always something.
Always something happening. So speaking of always something happening in politics this month, Oklahoma became the 16th state to ban gender-affirming surgery and puberty blockers for children. So anyone under 18. So that's and I know a lot of with Pride Month coming, and a lot of different states have been putting out what is viewed as anti-transgender, anti-LGBTQ community bills and laws. Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's tough to say because because
we're talking about kids.
Because we're talking about kids. Like it's one of those things where it's like, to an extent, I can see where laws need to exist to protect children, but I also feel like it's up to the parents' discretion, right? Like I feel like if I'm going through that with my child, there is like a deeper understanding of parent to child relationship for me to actually understand what's happening and to move forward with that with you.
So if you spend a lot of time diving into this topic, that's actually not what's happening. A lot of parents are being told, which is I think it's a general statement on the internet. You've been told that if you have any questions about this thing, if you don't agree with this thing, if you don't see it the way the kid sees it or a person sees it, that you're automatically transphobic or whatever.
Yeah.
And people are just fit because they don't want to cause their kid any emotional pain, which I am compassionate to, like I understand.
Yeah.
They're just going along with it. Like there is a big thing right now where a lot of parents are coming out and saying like, I'm taking my kid through this process, but I almost feel like I don't have a choice but to.
Right. Because of societal pressure.
Yeah, because of the societal pressure. Yeah. And then you have a lot of kids.
My child's gonna hate me and do it when they're older anyway.
Yeah, but then they say it's such a mixed bag, which is why some states are doing this, is because they say that there's a chance that by the time the kid becomes an adult that they might not want to go through with the actual process. I know if I went, like when I was considering, I probably would be sitting in a place of like regret. of actually doing it, because I had some stuff within myself that I needed to sort out. And I'm not saying that's the blanket statement for everybody, but what they're trying to do is mitigate situations where it could be more harmful to the person long term than it is upfront.
Yeah, because that's a big decision to just jump on at such a young age to like commit to. And I feel like decisions like that should be like thought out on a longer period of time, like knowing that you have that option and you get to that place, not just I'm 12 and I've thought of this for the last 12 years, and it's like, slow down, bro.
Yeah, like I've been thinking about this for 12 years, but I'm 12. Like,
yeah. But I think on the other hand, from just in general, from like a biological perspective, doing it earlier, make it like from like I Am Jazz. So she started her transitions at a very early age. So like as far as transitioning fully into being a woman, I guess this is gonna sound like
I know what you I know what you're going to say. I'm going to tell you to word it very nicely.
I'm trying. You don't hear the struggle?
I'll say it because I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
That she looks more passing.
Yeah. Essentially. It looks more natural.
Yeah, she's so yes. So that is there's a higher percentage of that.
Yeah, that's about it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, speaking from a biological.
The only problem is it just doesn't change. Jazz is still dealing with dysphoria. And
facts.
Which, you know what I'm saying? Like, you did it I'm gonna say, quote unquote, the best way you can to get the best looking results. But and I always, for me, being as though like getting into spirituality and stuff is like a part of me had to, why I let it go is because I had to realize like to be a human is to have some form of dysmorphia. And a lot of it sometimes, because I am a soul in a body. I mean, I'm a thing in a body versus the body. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be a disconnect between me and this thing that I'm sitting in.
Right.
So when I just can deal with that, I can make do because my body actually doesn't matter. And I think that just in a general sense, you can see people, even cis people, still going through their own form of dysphoria or dysmorphia.
Absolutely.
So it's like it never stops, and we can compare struggles all we want to, or who has it worse or whatever, but we won't know, because I can tell you that bodybuilders are going through a lot of dysmorphia.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I can't say that that's less or more than somebody who's trans. It just looks more painful for somebody who's trans because they say that they don't identify with what they
right. There's a disconnect, a complete disconnect from their outer appearance. Yeah. So yes, Bernie Sanders proposed a bill to make minimum wage $17 across the board. He said that a bill has not been passed for minimum wage since 2008, and it is time
as a federal thing,
as a federal limit. I think DC has the highest minimum wage.
It does.
And it is at, I think, 17, or it's going up to.
No, it's at 17. We just
17.
Yeah, I think it's going up to 18 or 19.
Whatever it is, I think 17. And in today's day and age, that is a minimum living wage.
I think where we will fall short is those podunk cities and towns that cannot
afford that.
Their minimum
wage is still at 8. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I think the federal limit should be 8, but I know that the federal limit has to account for that. It has to account for the weakest links.
Yeah. So what's the median between 8?
Doing it by state or by city. You know what I'm saying? Like by
1250, which is basically where we're at.
I mean, that's crazy because like being that we're in DC, we're in Maryland and we can travel so easily to DC, it's hard being here and seeing, okay, well, minimum wage in Maryland
is 14.
Nope, it's $13.25.
And then you can travel 20 minutes and do the same job.
20 minutes from my home, do the same job. I can go from being a cook in Maryland to a cook in DC, and it's a difference of $25.
Yeah.
20 minutes of my morning.
And that's not the case for most people, though. Most people, it's,
I will say it is cheaper to live out here.
It is.
It's
who primarily grew up living in DC, not living in Maryland and driving to DC. It is cheaper to live out here. My people's, the rent that they pay, like my mom and my grandmom, you know what I'm saying? My grandma was paying $700. And some of that is adjusted for senior citizen living, but the most that they pay at the little co-op that they in is $1,000. But you got to think, they've been living there since since my mother and them was little kids. Since the damn thing got built, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of like grandfathered into a certain type of rate or whatever. But when we was looking at moving there, they was talking about $19,000 for and it's a co-op, so you buying into it. You know what I'm saying? But $19,000.
That's crazy.
Still having to pay, and then I still got to pay it
something monthly.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. It's studios, even in the worst neighborhoods, are fucking overpriced in DC.
Mm-hmm. A stack for your studio apartment in the worst of neighborhoods.
In the worst of neighborhoods, and not like when I was like shopping around. I was like, I'm not moving out there. I'm not moving there.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, well, I feel like as a nation, we need to figure out something. Something's got to give. Like the poverty line can't be like we can't have this many people like below the poverty line. There's really no middle class anymore. We need to reestablish
what's a middle class.
What's like what is actually surviving and thriving, and what's like drowning.
Right.
Because right now, I feel like anybody who's not making above 6 figures is fucking struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's just my experience from being in the city. I feel like if I made what I made and I lived back in Michigan, I'd be
running it up. You'll be rich as fuck.
Right. I'd be in a better place. But
that's
now
what I would consider. I'd be like, man, I'm about to move somewhere where like the cost of living low as hell.
Exactly. So I can have a nice ass house and
$7 eggs, man.
Right. Exactly.
That's where the crime rate's the highest though.
Big facts. It is. But shit.
I mean, but there's other places where the crime rate is not so bad, is what I'm saying. It's not Michigan, because I'm not going to fucking Detroit, okay?
It's okay.
Joy Road is nice, I've heard.
It's nice.
Anyway, and then last in politics, as far as major news goes, King Charles was officially crowned British monarch, which is a funny story. Jamal's best friend, my best friend-in-law, shout out to Noelle. She was actually in London at the time of the
inauguration.
Thank you. I don't think that's what they call it though. Is it called an inauguration? Coronation. There we go. Thank you. And they interviewed her, right? And you know
the note says King Charles officially crowned.
Yes, crowned.
So coronation.
Anyways, they interviewed her and they were like, how do you think he's going to do at the coronation round? She goes, I think he's going to kill it. And then in the background, her uncle was like, don't say kill it. Don't say kill it. She's like, no, don't say that.
It's not.
So, yeah, somewhere there is news footage of our American friend probably being made fun of by...
That's like I can never find this show, but it was this show that I think I found on like Netflix at one point about people getting in trouble for some crazy shit they say on the internet. Yeah. And this dude that was from UK was like, "Oh, when I come to the States, we're going to destroy America," and the government was like, "You going to do what?"
Right, like you about to be on the no-fly list real quick.
Like you gotta be really careful with slang and shit in other countries, because especially fucking polite society.
Exactly.
I tweeted yesterday. I was like, "Why is the UK so obsessed with being polite?"
You're being polite.
Yeah, not passive aggressive at all. Polite, what they
It's
call it.
like, bless your heart type shit.
Basically.
Right. All right. So jumping into celebrity tea this month, the Brat and her wife Judy have been facing backlash over choosing a white sperm donor for their baby. So they basically said, and I actually seem to catch this episode. I don't even watch the show, but I caught this part of that episode where they went to look for sperm donors, and the establishment essentially does a hereditary genetic test. And so they only give you donors that match your genetics, so that you're not, setting your child up for certain genetic diseases and whatnot. So that kind of already ruled out a lot of Black donors that already existed. Not to mention there's a shortage of Black donors. A lot of, and that's just a cultural thing. Like Black men want to.
They normally shoot it in there.
I was gonna say I don't know if they want to raise their own children, and they want to see their baby. I don't want to put the negative stigma out there that everyone else does.
I don't even know that most Black men consider being a donor an option. I've never, I hang around a lot of men and always have.
You've never heard that.
It's never come up.
For all the work that they make you go through, like it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of knowing like your family history.
That's
another
that
stops you right there. It's like, well, who was your dad and what was his disease? It's like, let me stop you right there. And if you make it past the who was your dad, you got to get to the granddad, and you got to hope that you have like a full like family lineage. And if you have that many people in that much medical history, why are you donating sperm? Like, keep it a buck. Like, if you really want to see your seed go on to do something, you do this same process with another woman. Like, if you're not interested in raising them with her, you pay for it for yourself. But like, you're not going out there to just be like, all right, $50 in the bank. Let me go through a 3-week process.
Yeah, that's what I don't, and I don't even know that they're thinking. The niggas I've been around, I don't know that they thinking about that. I don't even know it's just like they wouldn't know what the process was because
it hasn't been thought about at all.
I've never gone.
Let me tell you, if I was in better shape, I would have been donated eggs. You get like $7,000-$8,000 a pop, like each egg. You could take all of them. I've had all my kids, but that's the other thing is that it's a very rigorous. Like you have to be in shape without any type of diseases. You like can't drink alcohol. Like you have to be pure. And
because a lot of stuff we do just kill our eggs.
Facts. Our diets, just the type of food we have access to as a community as a whole. The diabetes and the high blood pressure that runs in everybody. Yeah, the sugar runs in everybody's family.
So the story. Back to the story.
Yeah.
It feels a little like Juicy Smoothie. You know what I mean? Like not that egregious where you can concoct this big plan, but like I feel like there was other options. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there was a shortage of Black men here.
Yeah, I do feel like they didn't go to a different like.
You didn't try hard enough.
Yeah, because they said that the one Black man basically that he was ugly, and then
I just one sis.
One.
Only one.
It feels like that wasn't your priority going into it. You didn't care what color they were.
I mean, and that's okay, but that's okay. I don't want to act like that's not okay. If you don't care, you just want to help your baby.
And you want your baby, just say that. But don't act like you care because it's a shortage of Black.
Yeah, on the back end. Like on the back end, you try to make it when you tell people and people like, what you do? You try.
Well, let me tell you, I would just let that baby come out, whatever color that baby gonna come out. You don't need to know shit about the sperm donor. How about that?
You don't need to know nothing about this. You don't need to know nothing about my kid. It's my business. I don't care how celebrity-fied I am. It's right. I did it. Like I don't owe you niggas nothing.
I'm having a baby.
Yeah, I mean now
I could be the Virgin Mary for all you know.
I feel like I would have shopped around, but that's
a little harder. I too.
Hey, let's try one more place. You know what I'm saying? If they got an ugly nigga too, we'll do something else.
One more place.
One more. You know we gotta compare prices.
Like, I donated to all these places. But anyway.
Oh, this nigga again?
Right. Clearly he wants to father babies.
You don't know, dog, because like
and there's no guarantee that your baby's gonna be ugly.
Right.
That's true.
Because that's not how
true. He might not be photogenic. He might actually be a good looking man in bad lighting.
I know,
like for every kid that I see that looks like their parents, I also see kids that I'd be like, how'd that happen? Oh no. Yeah. Not sure.
Did you double check the tag on his ankle before you left?
I don't know. Your jeans look a little strong and his don't look a little strong. You know what I'm saying?
I know that. Facts. All right. So The Weeknd officially wants to let go of the persona of being The Weeknd and go by his legal name, which is Abel Tesfaye.
Yeah, he's Ethiopian. He said he feels as though he said everything he could as The Weeknd, and he wants to move on to like making new art and introducing the world to who he is and what he has to say.
He about to completely stop making music about drugs.
Yeah.
I ain't listening no more.
I'm dead.
Look, when The Weeknd was really strung out, that nigga was when that was OVOXO.
Yeah,
that was some prime. I ain't high for this.
Yeah,
prime music. Then he slowed down. And stopped making. He stopped making the drug music. It was like fuckboy-ish. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
he's trying to be like more woke because he's going on a spiritual journey.
I mean, probably been hanging out with Trevor Noah. You know?
It's fine. You know what? It's fine. Because when you say that, I understand. You got to go through. Because I had to go. I'm about to project, but I had to go through like this period of time where I'm pretty sure like 2-3 years ago you wouldn't have liked my ass because I was all, if you watch TV, you brainwashed and like super like that. Yo, I'm all about these books and studying, son.
Sorry, you had to go.
And then I was like, this is fucking boring. This life is horrible. I don't like anything anymore. And so now I'm here where I'm like,
yeah.
But I had to go through that process. I had to go through the process of like Ebenezer Scrooge and every goddamn thing. And so that's, rebrand.
The nightgown and the cap he had too.
That shit. I got visited by the ghost of all the presidents.
I'm fucking dead.
Once you know we had a pajama party for Christmas, I want that nightgown and the cap he had, like the slippers too.
I got you.
And the lantern.
For speaking of Ebenezer Scrooge, because of what we do over there on Keeping It Real, I'm changing my name to Filmaneeza Scrooge.
I'm dead. That's cute though. That's cute. I like it. I'm gonna have to come up. If you guys can help me come up with a name, because I'm like tired of being Brit, but I feel like I don't have any.
She needs a nickname. She wants to be down.
Yeah, so at the tender age of almost 34, I would love for someone to give me a nickname. So drop them in the comments. Nelly and Ashanti are back together, and they are happy and doing well. So,
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah,
I'm sure Nelly has been too. Shit, sit back.
I was fun to
in her interviews this year. She was off that like, oh, she working too much. She's not gonna be fucking with him, kind of thing. Yeah. She got movies coming out and all that.
She made time.
Nobody cares.
Time for what you want to make time for.
Yeah.
Okay. Irv Gotti is on a scale of 1 to 10.
Irv Gotti been mad.
He's
been mad for a long time. Right next to his wife, which is so disrespectful. Like, you are still married talking about this.
It's like somebody on the interview. Nah, baby, I gotta tell them real quick about how me and Ashanti was like.
You don't need to tell them about that.
You sure they don't need to know about me and Ashanti?
Yeah, I'm sure.
They just need to know one good time. Like, let the world know. Back when me and Ashanti, I ain't even know. She shook me with Nelly news.
Dancing ass niggas had a real battle.
Yeah, right? We've been waiting on the verses, and we got the real life verses.
You got
Chris
served
Brown and Usher.
for real. You got served for real.
Nah, I mean it's not alleged. There's witnesses.
I didn't say alleged. I didn't say alleged. I said you got served for real. That's what.
Right.
Yeah, I add that. Silly reason though.
It was a very silly reason.
But what they saying is the reason, because that's the alleged part is what
yeah. So essentially what happened is, from what I understand, Chris Brown and his crew jumped Usher. Allegedly. Yes. Actually happened. Because Usher was standing up for Tiana Taylor.
Yeah.
Chris Brown was calling her bitches and da-da-da-da-da. And
he was cussing her out because she dropped out of his AMA performance.
Yeah.
Heart or fully blames her for that's why he got dropped. Not the fact that he has a violent past. Even though I think that is a stupid I think that it's stupid that they keep
bringing that up as if there's not people more recently.
Don't get me wrong, Chris Brown is a little bit of a Ja Morant, but
a little bit.
But if you say, we're dropping you because of your domestic violence stuff, that shit happened when
something that he did when he was 17.
Yeah,
because I promise you, if we all got held to what we did as teenagers, that we'd be different people in life.
And so, and some of it is, some of the stuff that Chris Brown has been in, believe it or not, is people fucking with him.
Yeah, no, I do believe it.
It's not always his
that he deserves.
They called the police on this man because he was drawing graffiti monsters on his house or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the overall
validation. Here it is. You know what I'm saying? This is the Ja Morant shit right here. It's like
exactly
people already got it out for you in some type of way, and then you also do dumb shit that is. If you was beefing with Tiana Taylor, y'all friends, you should have called her. Maybe he got on the coke and that shit just came up.
Maybe
y'all too rich to be doing shit like this. I feel like
facts.
If I have $300 or more in my account, I feel like that's too much money to be risking right now. Our freedom is too much at risk.
He set the bar
and low. I set the bar very low. That's bill money. $300 is what I can put down for my bill minimally. So anything above that, it's like, bro, I don't understand how you risk that. Like, you got a bag, and but that's because I have this military mindset where if you get in trouble, them niggas can take your money.
I mean, I just feel like I just think that when you are a celebrity, right? And don't get me wrong, I understand where they say good press is any press is good press, and anytime your name is in the tabloids or whatever, it's good. It's right, but because the same people who hate you will be going back and listening to your music to see if, R. Kelly niggas was going back and streaming his music to see if he was talking about little girls in the stuff, not knowing that that's putting him
running numbers,
numbers up. But it's just certain things. This is why you gotta stop. You say no to coke, man. Say no to the crack. Because
all the things.
Because it just, I'm assuming if this story is true, if it is true that he was turned up, and I don't know. I just feel like as his friends, they should have been like, "Nah, don't talk about this here, son," and pressed him on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I feel like in a lot of cases, people know that ain't about to change the situation.
Yeah, he probably just would have kirked out on one of them.
He seems like he's a hothead overall. I mean, not necessarily all the time. But when buttons are pushed, he seems like he's the type of person where he gonna go. No, it's not.
I mean, and the crazy thing is, last year he went on all those he did all those interviews, kind of and then I think it was good PR for his reputation. It was good PR for his reputation, going on Drink Champs and all that stuff. He was doing a string of interviews.
Yeah.
And people got to know him a little bit more, and he was talking about his new music, which, whatever. But it felt wholesome a little, But now, nigga.
still out here doing stupid
speaking
shit.
of shit. Now you
In your 30s now.
Yeah,
Love.
You grown.
You're 30
dog.
now.
You grown. You got a kid.
and you like 6 foot something screaming.
Yeah,
at
you're grown.
you 6 something screaming at this.
We're gonna move on though, because I still got a list of shit. We can't just be talking about Chris Brown being grown and doing messy shit. Can't dwell on these messy niggas. Lil Wop, who I had no clue who he was prior to seeing this story for real, but he was signed to Gucci Mane's label, announces that they will be transitioning, along with pictures. If you haven't seen the pictures, I suggest you look them up.
So that looks like a different person to me.
Yeah,
like a completely different person. I've only saw one set of pictures, but him and his rap gangster stuff, and then the next picture was like him looking a little more feminine or whatever,
like a bright colored wig.
Yeah, like I'm talking about, I was just looking in the face. It wasn't the fact that it was more feminine to match, like it wasn't that. It just looked like a completely different person to me. I was like, this is not the same person,
right?
To me.
No, I feel you. I feel like all of these younger rappers look but no, I see what you're saying. Like I'm looking at him with his dreads and all of that versus in the dress and outfit.
I'm good.
So yeah, that's happening.
The nose, it's just maybe at this point in the they got surgery or something.
Maybe they got surgery.
Bird.
I also wonder again how much of this is publicity. Like
because that's what everyone else says. Like with Lil Nas X, like it's one of those things where it's like I'm gonna just hold my breath and wait until you're done. When you're finished, we'll find out.
We'll
find out that Lil Nas X was a Nicki Minaj fan. Sealed it for me.
I feel that. Well, speaking of Nicki Minaj, Cardi, her enemy, her nemesis, Cardi sees $640 from Tasha K's YouTube account. She still owes millions, but she snatched up every little bit.
Everything that we don't know,
every little bit. $40.
I thought it was a typo because I was like, but she couldn't have missed $640 million.
$640, the petty amounts. I want all of it.
Oh, you thought you was gonna make money off your YouTube and get monetized?
Right. No, now you have to do YouTube to pay me. Now your check goes to my account.
The thing about it is Tasha K's I want to say she gets more money from her membership, her personal thing than she does on YouTube. She don't even post like her whole interviews and stuff on YouTube no more. I don't think. Just to her membership.
It's like
obviously if she's getting views and clicks on YouTube, but I'm just not sure that that's the money maker. But I think it's petty to take the $640.
$640 when you owe millions.
My money.
Bitch, better have my.
So to be fair, Cardi did ask her to take it down. She refused. And then
she doubled down. Tasha definitely.
I don't think anybody is making it.
Nobody disagrees with it. It's the way you gotta go about getting your money.
Nah, and I mean when she said stop playing on my name, like you should have took that.
Tasha K decided that she was going to double down and not retract or not whatever.
She wanted to test her gangster, and I mean sometimes testing somebody gangster get you into some gangster shit.
Big fat.
And like when your wallet can't cash that gangster shit that you say, you shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down.
You do. You have several seats. Speaking of seats, Tory Lanez motioned for a new trial, trying to fill those jury seats with others, but he was denied. So I think this is like the second time he's motioned for a new trial and it's been denied.
And they're about the sentences.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the sentencing. Like I said, I wasn't in the room. I only heard what I heard. From what I heard, it felt like reasonable doubt existed, but apparently not enough. And
also, just I don't know. We don't know the jurors.
No.
I also wonder how much of this story did they not know about before they went in there.
It's hard to not know. I feel, but I'm also linked into the culture.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. Or like, even if, let's say it was just a bunch of old people who had no clue, but their grandkids could have been said something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to not that particular story. I think it's very hard to not know anything about
the year. Like if it happened like 2 weeks ago, and it's like, oh snap, we need to hurry up. Nah, that story had to linger. She had time to come out. He had time to drop an album.
When did that happen? It's been years.
Yeah, it happened, I believe, in 2020.
Yeah, right? It's been 2 years, and every couple months something new was coming out.
It was like she got seen here, and then it's like she didn't really have glass in her feet. She didn't really get shot.
Or she would be on live talking about it, or he would be on live talking about it.
Well, the best friend was on live talking. Yeah, there was a lot happening. There are definitely people who have no clue who Megan Thee Stallion is.
Yeah, facts.
But I just can't guarantee that those are the people you had up on
in the room.
Right, because like you can't even be like, oh well, white people don't know. White people watch NPR. They love that little NPR joint. And she did a tiny desk with like what 3.4.
I mean, it don't even matter when you get something for jury. I don't know if you ever had it, but they ask you a series of questions.
I actually have never been summoned.
So they ask you a series of questions that's like, do you believe that Black people are oppressed? And based on how you answer that, you get selected or not selected.
Right.
They're trying to see what your biases are before you get in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what trial you're coming up for, but if I want to do it, I can easily bullshit the
yeah. Or I can be an extremist and you won't want me there.
Yeah,
like one of the two.
Yeah. And you can get a feel for what the case is going to be about based on the types of questions that they're asking you.
Yeah. Speaking of juries, jury finds Donald Trump guilty of sexual assault. The victim was awarded $5 million in damages. It was a civil case, so it wasn't.
To be fair, she was the woman that was on the video, that was in the audio, that he said you should grab her by the.
Hold on.
That was a very open and shut case.
And
I just want everybody who's banging on him to go to jail. That nigga's not going.
He's not going to jail.
He's not.
Everyone around him will though. They'll do everybody else.
Here's the thing. I feel like as much as they say they want him to go to jail, they actually need him. Like the news cycle is boring as hell when they're not talking. Like they're not getting as much ratings and stuff when they're not talking about this nigga.
There's so many more things happening in the news.
There is, but I mean, like I'm saying,
it is, but it's about what's polarizing to people. It's about what excites people to click on or participate in the stories. And I'm sorry, there's nothing more rate getting than this nigga. Like I don't care for him. I don't care about him. But I know that people hate this nigga, or they love him, and it makes people tune into the thing.
Yeah, and I feel that. So yeah, more to come, I guess, with Donald Trump and his court dates and all of this. But that in that particular one, he was found guilty. Speaking of court, Jay-Z's alleged son files a new Supreme Court case to force him to take a paternity test. You gonna claim me, nigga?
This nigga took it to Supreme Court.
To the Supreme
Court.
This
nigga's a freedom.
Exactly. Now you gonna take this paternity test. His mother actually passed away, I think, a few years ago. But he's been coming after Jay-Z to try to get him for years. Trying to get him to take a paternity test for years.
How you think that's gonna go?
I think he looks like him. I'm not gonna hold you. I think the fact that he is not taking a paternity test tells me that he has an idea that this might be his child. Because I feel like you would only dodge it this hard if it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if there was no way, you would go ahead and give the DNA so they can settle that and
I think
sit
that's
down.
fair, but we aren't celebrities, right? And so something that happens quite often with celebrities, and I'm not taking up for Jay-Z. I'm just saying that it might be the fact that this ain't the first time that somebody came forward and said that that's his, they his child or whatever. And how many of those people is he supposed to acquiesce to?
No, and I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I feel like we've seen this guy, this man, around for a while. I've heard this story for a while. I think when it's this persistent and it's in the news, like it's in the news, because I ain't never heard of anybody else as much as we heard about this one. You shut them fuck up.
So I agree with that. I also just think that we think in the same people terms.
No, you're right.
I don't know this guy, so I'm not gonna just automatically say he's crazy. But what I'm also saying is that people are, though.
Yeah.
And how do we differentiate you from anybody else? Just because his ability to get his story or whatever out there, it could be that he's chasing the clout and he knows how to, he's figured out an algorithm to how to do that to the point where people are taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Let's say
but the Supreme Court, though.
Right. Because that's what I think about. When I first hear that, I go, I don't think nobody else just said that shit taking it to the Supreme Court.
Nobody else
That's a story worthy to pick up, whether I'm your kid or not, right? If I say Beyonce's my mother and I'm taking this shit to the Supreme Court, somebody gonna be like, what? Especially if I look like her.
Exactly.
I ain't got to, but now my name and shit, I'm keeping relevant.
But you got $1 million lawyers, like.
I feel like, and a lot of people were saying things like, well, what is he after at this point? I feel like at this point you're just trying to prove he's your dad, right? I mean, to get some closure to parents.
And that's what he actually does it, because right now at this point, I don't know that I didn't read a story on this, so I don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, he's saying that's what he's going to do.
He's saying that's what he's going to do, and Jay-Z's lawyers are actively fighting through any loophole that involves him having to take paternity test.
Listen, I don't have lawyers on retainer. I have my sister. I can call her. I can get stuff done. But let me tell you, I'm not calling her for every little thing to be like, yo, I got this frivolous lawsuit coming up. You just be like,
I think the thing is, like, again, we're not celebrities, though.
Yeah.
If somebody threatens, I would assume you have to take those types of things seriously. Even if let's say for him, he knows that it's not a shadow of a doubt that he got a kid by XYZ person.
Yeah.
I still have to take this seriously because it affects. Think it's Jay-Z. It's not Ja Morant. And I say that in a way that I say it because Ja Morant's already fucking up his life. But Jay-Z owns a game, right? Like Jay-Z's like sort of a household name in the name of business.
Jay-Z's a household name, period. Miley Cyrus has a song with him.
Yes. This looks very bad in it. This looks very bad on him for people who are more I'm gonna say conservative for lack of a better word, but like his business constituents and stuff like that.
Traditional.
It's all politics. Yeah,
traditional. Yeah,
it's a political thing. I can't have you out here doing that. And if the nigga disappear, that's bad. So I have to do something else.
So this was before he was married.
This is from the 90s.
It doesn't matter at this point. Today, it doesn't
absolutely
matter.
But I'm just saying, like, if this were me and I knew, like, if I knew it wasn't like my baby, I'm swabbing, bro. But like, if there's a chance that it's
especially early on, because we've been really hearing about this kid for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been at least 5 years since I've heard about him. I don't know.
Yeah. I remember hearing that Jay-Z had a kid before Beyonce.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So we've heard about him before they've started having children.
Yeah, but see, I don't know what I'm saying is I don't know it was him. I've heard about him having a kid, but I don't know if it was this particular.
Right. So let's say it wasn't this specific kid.
I think
the fact that the rumor persisted.
I think it's the same kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, to me, it goes like this: what man don't have, what celebrity don't have kids? That's how I see it. I just like what celebrity male don't have at least one.
Never
kid.
heard about a rumor about Leonardo DiCaprio having a kid.
I mean, I don't pay attention to Leonardo.
Yeah, I don't think that.
No, but
I think if somebody, but my point, you made my point. If somebody came out and was like, "I'm Leonardo DiCaprio kid," he looks something like him, and he's like, "I'm gonna take this nigga to the Supreme Court because he been ducking me." I think hold up.
You gotta talk about that.
You the nigga, like the fuck.
You gotta talk about
if it's worked this long, let's keep it going.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's wrap up anything that has anything to do with court. So Fetty Wap was sentenced to 6 years. Fetty Wap.
She my trap queen. Let her hit the bed, though.
I'm being funny because when's the last we heard a song?
Yeah, well, he's been dealing with some shit. All right, he got caught with some cocaine. I think a couple years ago.
He was trying to deal at 17, 38.
Yeah, and he got sentenced to 6 years in prison due to a drug charge. So yeah, it was something dealing with cocaine. I remember seeing in the story where he said he had fallen on hard times. So that is why he had to go back to the streets, essentially. I find it hard. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but like, because millionaires and rappers blow money all the time. But it's like, I feel like you have something to fall back on that's not cocaine. But okay.
But I mean, from what I understand, him and the Remy boys didn't do a very good job. I mean, they did what they do. You gotta think. Fetty Wap had a good year.
Yeah,
he's moving.
A good year of a run because all the songs we like. Don't get me wrong. It may be 2 years, maybe 2. I'm talking about I'm not talking about necessarily his underground music or stuff like that, or mixtapes or stuff like that. I'm talking about radio play. So generally what happens is 360 deals, or you get like TLC, you get fronted the money and then you got to pay the label back when the checks roll in and you're not left with shit.
That's right.
I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm saying it is likely that's what's happened. That's what's happened. And whatever money they did have, that was,
they got excited and spent that shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he's going to jail. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is well and in good health and out of the hospital. Him and his daughter is planning. Sorry, I just saw that typo. It was egregious.
Yeah, that was.
Him and his daughter are planning a new show.
You should probably relax.
Yeah, I know, right?
After that put him in having a stroke, working too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, the list continues.
Extremely longer than I thought it was. I thought it stopped at around where we about to be at.
No, girl, there's a lot. So that covers all of the celebrity gossip and tea.
Hold up, there's one thing on here we need to discuss really quick.
Okay.
Good Burger 2.
Oh yeah.
What is the reason?
There is no purpose for Good Burger 2.
It's way too late.
It's way too late. But I will say that when it comes out, I do expect us to talk about it on Keeping It Real.
I don't know why you I'm calling off work that day. PTO, nigga.
There's no purpose. The fact that you have to put all of that makeup on Kel to make him look like he's 19, 20, whatever, however old. Like, you look crazy. You look crazy.
You made bro shave. Why did bro have to shave? Bro looked weird.
Yeah. Sus. For real. So yeah, Good Burger 2 is coming out. Oh, and then I guess Celine Dion canceled her world tour due to stiff person syndrome that she is dealing with. which I've never heard of before, but it sounds painful.
Wow.
Like that's like it sounds painful. Yeah. So we can jump into some of these stories, and we can always talk a bit more about the other ones.
One of them I want to talk about just briefly.
Another
is this Utah banning Utah residents.
Oh yeah, Pornhub bans Utah residents.
Yeah, so apparently I learned about this separate because I'd be in some rabbit hole based on the shit that I'd be sending you on YouTube. I'd be all over fucking in the weirdest places, right? Apparently, Utah is trying to crack down on it has something to do with pedos.
Yeah.
And they put some type of blocker on the thing at first to try to stop kids from accessing porn sites or using their phones and shit like that. And now is turning out, I guess, because they couldn't stop it, like a ring.
Yeah.
They put a whole ban on. I don't know if that's completely Pornhub's reason for it.
So from what I understand, Pornhub has banned Utah because essentially Utah wants people to upload their license and their like their identification in order to be on porn sites.
Yeah.
And like Pornhub's like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. Like we know why you're here, and we know you don't want to give your identity up every single time you want to be on this site.
Yeah. But Utah's trying to crack down on kids accessing pornography and also the pedophiles that use that shit as a backdoor. That was a thing.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that's kind of crazy. I will say I wanted to speak about a little bit about just briefly talk about it, to mention it. The New York City subway passenger, the homeless man who was choked out and put in a chokehold for 15 minutes because he was aggressively asking for food and money. That former Marine is being tried for, I believe, manslaughter. I might be wrong.
As he should be. You murdered a man.
There was a huge debate because AOC came out and said that it was murder, and then everybody else from the Republican side was saying it's not murder, he's a hero, blah, blah, blah. So it's been an ongoing debate. I just feel like putting anyone in a chokehold for 15 minutes because he was asking for food is OC.
And you are not the police.
You're not the police.
You're not. And that's not saying that they have the right to do it, but they are legally authorized to be able to detain, hold, restrain, whatever people. You are not. So
as a veteran yourself,
it's cut and dry.
Do that.
I mean, we see homeless people and crackheads on the metro all the time. We ignore them. I watched everybody ignore them.
Like, as a veteran, would you?
I actually feel like hold on, you might have it on here. I'm sorry. I feel like there's an important story that is missing. I don't know if it happened it's May, so it had to happen in May. This is
missing?
The football player who shot and killed. Okay, so here's the story.
Yeah.
I forget his name. His name is Rudolph something, or Randolph something. He is going to jail for murder because the woman, his girlfriend, who was also married, by the way, caught him cheating, physically assaulted him, then told her brothers to come shoot up his shit. Poor dude showed up on his doorstep. I guess fight broke out. He said something like he saw his brother on the ground being beat up by the dudes. They had guns. He went in the house and got his AR-15, fired 39 shots. One of them dudes got shot and died.
Wow.
the court case is going on now. And the videos I've seen of the girl on stand, like she's taking no accountability. I just said, shoot up his shit because I was angry and I didn't really mean it. And they knew I didn't mean to shoot him and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know if she's going to be charged with anything.
She should be.
She should be.
Yeah.
Like just watching the video, the clips of her in court, and that story is egregious. This man's life is ruined because everybody's life is ruined. Essentially, that had anything to do with it because you was cheating on your husband. Essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Which in some states that within itself is illegal.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't have that story, and that's crazy. I'm trying to like flip through because there are a lot of stories, but I also don't want to take up all of your time with all of the shit.
What happened with the Florida man, not the alligators, but the one that called the housekeeper on the grandmother?
So Florida man kills his grandmother, and then calls over the housekeeper to come clean up the scene of the crime. The housekeeper pretended like she had to go get some cleaning supplies out of her car, dipped out, found some cops, and he got arrested.
Hold on, so I was sort of reading, he murdered the grandmother?
He murdered his grandmother, then called a housekeeper to come clean up the mess. Like, how lazy are you of a murderer to call someone else to come clean up the mess? Like, what's that Fox show that I was watching? The Cleaner.
Yeah, like, what did you think this was, John Wick? We just call somebody to clean up the mess?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. That shit was crazy. There's been just like a number of very random, crazy ass stories. I mean, always coming out of Florida. I will say, speaking of Florida, the NAACP did send out a letter that warns Black people that Florida is no longer friendly for Black people, and that there's a travel, not ban, but a travel warning.
Travel advisory.
Yeah, from the NAACP to the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
My friend went there.
Went to Florida.
Yeah, he just got to Miami.
I mean, I don't think that's gonna stop niggas from going to Miami.
It's definitely not going to. But
He just happened, so
yeah, with the laws being passed, and just like the taking out any teaching of slavery and Black history, and so the NAACP is raising red flags and telling us as a community to stay away. I will say reparations bill passed in California, so they are officially going to start paying reparations out to Black residents. You can get up to like 1.2 million, but you would have to be, in order to get that 1.2 million, you would have had to be a California resident. You're like in your 70s and you've been a resident your whole life and you've lived through different things. But
you've lived through the shit
it happened.
What you've gone through.
It happened. I feel like a lot of these other stories, we can actually make whole ass episodes about some of them. And we might, we still have to get everything together for the month of June and what episodes we'll be bringing to you all. So stay tuned for all of that. So that's what you missed in the month of May, plus some. And like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about all of that coming up. Let me take this time to tell you all to like, share, subscribe on all of our social media platforms. Make sure you guys check us out on Patreon, where we're putting out content from Keeping It Real. Make sure you check out the guys
in town
for Blurred Trap House.
The second best show in town.
Yeah.
Nah, we the best.
But yeah, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay unapologetically Black. Have a good night.